Hey there, Tristan here from Purpose Advisory. Just wanted to give a recap on the session we've just run on how to be financially independent. We run these sessions every 2 weeks. Love to have you come along to one of them. Today's chat was very practical, and we had a great turnout and lots of positive feedback about how people are taking their next steps towards financial independence. These are the three types of financial independence that we determined. Tony Robbins does a good job of outlining a range of different, checkpoints in the road to financial independence. And we take these three terms to be financial security, which is where you're covering your basic lifestyle, i.e., what's that? Bills, rent, the essentials, the food stuff, what you absolutely need to get by. And you're doing it with either passive income or with an income that you earn but you love. It's stuff that you wouldn't do anything else, really. It's what you wish to do. It's what you feel called to do. It's your vocation. Doesn't have to be passive income to get financially independent. It can just be stuff that you really enjoy to do and it works for you, and it works for your family, it works for your kids, it works for everything else. So that would be financial security. It's a good checkpoint to get towards. Once you've got to that checkpoint, you want to then build that type of income to be enough to be contented. So if you're just working a day job and you've got enough to save, you're probably living a contented lifestyle. You're probably earning enough to cover the things that you want, not just the essentials, but the food you want to eat, the events out, maybe the holidays, the car, these sorts of things. Not your ideal lifestyle, but at least a contented lifestyle. And if you have adequate income, either passively or through work and investments that you love managing, then that will be financial independence. Finally, there's financial freedom, which is where you have adequate income to cover the life of your dreams. Whether that's now or long term in the future, it's the house you dream of, it's the car you dream of, it's the way you spend your time, it's the people you interact with, it's all the things that you would love to achieve, most of which is limited by finances, but you have adequate income to do that. Now, that's not a ticket to happiness, but it definitely helps. And for some people, that's the target. So first step in identifying the road to financial independence is to work out, what are you aiming for? Is that satisfactory for you? Is this what you're going for? Or you wouldn't be happy until you get to financial freedom. We then talked briefly about, the conceptual framework. What are the three steps towards planning for financial independence? And we identified step one is to get in control. If you're not in a healthy place emotionally, healthily, physically, or relationally, it's very hard to get down and work on your finances. So that's just priority number one, is put out the fires, and it's break free from the haze. Haze could be having debt on a credit card, or it could be niggling pain, or it could be an issue with a relationship you haven't resolved. It just distracts you from, or maybe even just busyness, working too many hours at work and not having time on a weekend, stops you from being able to do step two, which is to design your life plan. Work out the checkpoints, what will get you where you want to get to. You might have a different order from this. You might want to do all the travel first up and buy the house a little bit later, maybe after getting a family with kids. But you need to work out your own game plan and your own values, because only then can you know how to do step number three, which is the fun, sexy part, which is what's your vehicle? Fun for someone like myself. I hope it's fun for you as well. What are the wealth creation strategies that will get us where we want to be? The last thing I want to share for you in our recap from today is some of the key practical checklist items to do when working towards financial independence. I'm just going to buzz through them really quickly here. We cover them in more detail in our talk today. So number one would be have adequate emergency funds. You need to know how much that is for you. We had people starting from $2,000 right up, $2,000 would be enough, right up to 1 year's worth of income. So you need to know where your level is. Number two, have a strong and reliable income. That means that it's regular, it's dependable into the future, and it will grow, especially now that inflation is running rampant. You need to have a salary that will continue to outpace inflation over the coming period. You need to have a spending plan. So a lot of people that would earn more than they spend don't put the time and energy to working out where they're spending the money on and where should they be spending the money on. Now, a lot of the time we don't do that because we don't want to miss out. We don't want to put in the effort. It's too hard. It's too draining. We don't want to feel limited. But if you're not looking at where you're spending, you might be spending on things you don't value more than you need to. You might be ignoring things that are important to spend on, like education and your relationship and your health. Things that when you look at it objectively, you might like, oh, spending way too much there and not enough there. It definitely pays to be mindful and then to plan around it. having a bucket, a clear place to send your savings to. So once you've provided for holidays, car, and all the other stuff, anything left over, your future investment savings, you want to have a place to put it, somewhere you can confidently throw the money straight away and you know it's invested and serving you well. It's not just sitting in cash. And importantly, you want that bucket every pay. Ideally 20%, that'd be a good rule of thumb. You want to have an engine strategy. So what's the core strategy that's going to build you wealth long term? For a lot of people, it's just the salary because they don't have anything else. For some people, there's leveraged property investing. Other people, it's trading. Other people, it's business. Something that's going to work for you, ideally that you love and that you can be best in the world at within your niche. That's the goal. You want to have a quality team of professionals around you who can mentor you and guide you towards that goal. And finally, you want to have plans for annual reviews, a time to sit down and see how we're doing, bigger picture, brainstorm and map out where to from here. You then also want quarterly check-ins. Make sure you're on track, and as things come up, you have conversations and maybe even guidance and support from a professional to help you along that way. And especially if you're in a couple, regular money chats, ideally once a week or a minimum once a month. If you don't work on your money as a team, you can do this just with a spreadsheet, just looking at maybe even your bank balance, just checking with your phone once a week sometimes is a good place to do it. Just making sure you're aware of what's going on and you're having the internal or the external conversation of what needs to happen. So I hope that's a practical list for you, gives you some things to think about of how you can be financially independent or work towards it. If you've got questions, if you want our help, please ask. We'd love to assist. If you want to come to one of our upcoming events, we run a range of these types of events. This was today's event. In 2 weeks' time, we've got Remove Distractions, Focus Your Mind, Why and How You Should Meditate. It's Thursday, 30th of June, Sydney time, 12 p.m. And then that's run by Harry, my business partner. And I'll be running an event 2 weeks after that on the 14th of July, how to make money in the stock market like a professional. We'll be talking about technical analysis, some fundamental analysis, combining the two. It'll be a really fun time to be looking at the market with the market being really heavily hit the past 6 or 7 months. It'll be interesting. Are we going to see a bit of a turn, or is there more of a down leg to come? And we'll be able to analyze that together. So come along to our events. They cost nothing but your time, and we'd love to have you reach out to us and see how we can assist. All the best.